Everyone's talking. Everyone's posting. Everyone's trying to prove something. Look around. It's all noise. People flexing lifestyles they haven't earned. Sharing opinions they haven't lived. Seeking attention instead of growth. But you're not here for the spotlight. You're here for the results. You don't have time to prove anything. Because you're busy becoming everything. While they talk, you train. While they post, you plan. While they try to impress strangers. You're building a future that doesn't need applause. You don't need validation. You don't need to show off. You don't need to explain yourself. Because real power doesn't perform. It works in silence. And when it's ready, it shows up loud. So let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them post. You stay focused. You stay silent. You stay sharp. And when the time is right, they won't ask what you were doing. They'll ask how you did it. Grind in silence. Let success make the noise. Focus on yourself. Let them scroll. Let them prove. You just become. Every day you wake up, and the first thing you do is reach for your phone. You don't even realize it anymore. It's automatic. Open the app. Scroll. Tap. Like. React. And without even knowing it, you're already comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel. You see the perfect body, the perfect couple, the luxurious life, the endless likes, comments, attention. And in the back of your mind, a quiet voice whispers, "Why am I not like them? Why don't I have that? Why am I not enough?" And just like that, you're trapped. Not by chains, but by validation. Social media has become a battlefield for approval. We post, not to express, but to impress. We don't chase growth anymore. We chase likes. Not progress, but popularity. We let strangers decide if our life is valuable. If our moments are worth sharing. If we are worth noticing. And the crazy thing is, most of it isn't even real. The smiles are staged. The bodies are filtered. The success is borrowed. The happiness is curated. We're trapped in a world where people are addicted to being seen, but have no idea who they really are. You don't need a like to feel worthy. You don't need a comment to feel seen. You don't need followers to feel enough. Validation should never come from a screen. It should come from within. When you know who you are, you stop explaining yourself. You stop performing. You stop begging for attention. You become quiet, focused, unbothered. Let them post. Let them brag. Let them live for attention. You live for growth. You build in silence. You succeed in private. Because real confidence doesn't shout. It whispers. I don't need anyone to clap for me. I clap for myself. So put the phone down. Log out. Look in the mirror. That's the only approval you ever needed. Forget the likes. Forget the followers. Forget the noise. You're already enough. You always were. Don't live to be seen. Live to be remembered. We live in a world where being loud gets you attention. Where showing off gets you likes, where the one who talks the most is mistaken for the one who knows the most. But here's the truth: society rewards noise, not growth. You post a picture, they clap. You buy a new car, they celebrate, you show your hustle, they admire you. But what about the nights you stayed awake grinding? What about the pain, the setbacks, the failures, the days you fought in silence, and no one saw? They don't reward that, because growth is invisible, it's not glamorous. IT doesn't trend, real growth is done in the dark, when no one's watching. Not no applause, no trophies, just sweat, silence, and sacrifice. But still, people scream for attention, they shout louder hoping to look successful, instead of actually becoming successful. And if you're not loud, they assume you're not doing enough, but they don't know. You're not hiding. You're evolving, because while they're being seen, you're getting better. So let them chase clout. Let them seek applause, you stay focused, you stay disciplined. You build in silence, because when it's time for your breakthrough, you won't need to say a word, your growth will speak for you. Remember, noise fades, but results echo forever. Most people, they crave noise, they chase attention, they live for applause, they want the world to see them, to hear them, to validate them. But you're different. You don't speak much, you don't explain much, you just move. In silence, you don't need to announce your goals. You don't need to post your progress, you don't care who's watching, because you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. While they're busy talking, you're working. While they're showing off, you're showing up, and while they're looking for shortcuts, you're out here building something that can't be broken brick by brick. Step by step in silence. You don't need attention, you don't need noise, you don't need praise, you need focus, you need discipline, you need peace, because deep down, you know silence isn't weakness, it's power. The loudest one in the room is rarely the strongest, but the quiet one? The one who watches, listens, learns, that's the dangerous one. That's you. So stay silent, stay grounded, stay committed, let the world wonder what you're up to, let your results do all the talking, because when it's time, you'll show up so loud, they won't believe how quiet you once were. You're different, you choose silence. In the noise of the world we forget who we are, the constant scrolling, the non-stop opinions, the endless pressure to respond, react, reply. It drowns your thoughts, it clouds your vision, it buries your purpose. But in the silence, everything becomes clear, because silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. When you step away from the noise, you step back into yourself, you start to hear your own voice, not the world's echo. In silence, you realize what truly matters. You see who's real, you remember what you're here to do. You can't find direction in distraction, you can't find purpose in noise. Clarity doesn't come when you're busy talking, clarity comes when you start listening to your instincts, to your inner voice, to your truth. The loudest person in the room isn't always the wisest, the calmest person often sees the most. While the world fights to be heard, you become dangerous in your silence, because silence sharpens your mind, strengthens your will, and clears your path. You don't need to announce your every move, you don't need to speak your every thought. Sometimes, the strongest statement you can make is saying nothing at all. So be still, be quiet, let the noise fade, let the world rush, and in your silence find your power, find your focus, find your clarity. Because when the world is loud, the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent. In a world that never stops talking, your silence becomes your greatest weapon, not weakness, power. But silence isn't just the absence of noisy, it's the presence of purpose. And to grow in that silence, you need daily practices that anchor your soul, sharpen your mind, and build the version of you the world will one day respect. These are your tools, these are your weapons. Sit, breathe, let the chaos fade. In just 10 minutes of silence a day, you begin to master the voice that matters most. The one inside your head. Meditation isn't about being empty, it's about becoming aware, focused, grounded, unshakable. When the world screams, you'll remain still. When life tests you, you'll remain calm, because you've practiced peace in silence. Get it out, all of it. The noise, the doubt, the pain, the plans. Write it down, not to be heard, but to understand yourself. Journaling isn't for the world, it's for the warrior inside you. It's the mirror for your thoughts. Every line is clarity, every word is healing, and every entry brings you closer to your purpose. No filters, no audience, just truth. Now, work not for attention, not for applause, but because you owe it to yourself. Block the distractions, shut the door, turn off the noise, and go deep. This is where legends are made. In focus sessions no one sees, in lonely nights no one celebrates, in quiet hours that the world forgets. But you will remember forever, because here, In deep work you stop existing and start becoming. These practices, they don't make you loud. They make you unstoppable. Meditation builds the mind, journaling clears the soul, deep work builds the life you're chasing. So no, you don't need to announce your growth. You say you love yourself, but do your actions prove it? You want success, you want growth, you want peace, but let me ask you something. Do you show up for yourself, even when no one is watching? Do you keep promises to yourself, even when it's hard? Because real self-respect isn't about what you say, it's about what you do. And nothing screams self-respect louder than self-discipline. When you wake up early, when you train your body, when you study instead of scroll. When you choose growth over comfort, that's you saying, I matter. My future matters, my word means something. Self-discipline isn't punishment. Power, it's waking up and saying, I will not betray myself today. While others chase pleasure, you chase purpose. While they choose easy, you choose right, because you've learned that doing what's best for you, especially when it's hard, is the highest form of self-respect. You don't need motivation, you need standards. You don't need hype, you need habits. Discipline builds character, discipline builds confidence, discipline builds freedom. So the next time you don't feel like doing the work, remember this: self-discipline is how you prove to the world that you respect who you are becoming. Every move you make, every step forward, every quiet decision to grow. Someone is watching. They don't clap, they don't comment, but trust me, they're watching. There are 3 types of people who watch you. They don't want to see you win, they want to see you fall. They'll criticize, mock, and question everything you do, not because you're wrong, but because your effort exposes their laziness. Your discipline threatens their excuses. Your silence disturbs their chaos. So they hate, but remember this: hate is still attention. If they're watching, you must be doing something right. These are the ones who never believed. They said you weren't smart enough, not talented enough, not whatever enough. They smiled to your face, but behind your back, they whispered they'll never make it. But now, they're silent, because every time you rise, you prove them wrong, without saying a word. Let your success crush their doubt. These are the rare ones, the quiet supporters, the few who always had your back even when you had nothing. They watched you fall and rise. They didn't need proof, they saw your fire before the flame ever caught, and now they're still here, rooting for you in the dark. Even if you never see them, honor them, win for them, and win for yourself. So keep going, let the haters talk. Let the doubters watch, let the believers wait in quiet pride. You don't need to say a word, because soon, your results will speak for you. Stay focused, stay silent, and let the world watch. They'll say you've changed, they'll say you've gone quiet, they'll say, why don't you talk anymore? Why don't you post? Why are you so distant? Because they don't understand your silence. They don't understand that your silence is not weakness. It's a weapon. You're not ignoring the world, you're ignoring the noise. You're not disappearing, you're rebuilding in peace and focus and silence. They don't see the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the pain, the self-control it takes to keep going, without telling anyone. But you know this truth: lions don't need to roar to be feared. Real power is quiet, real success is silent. Until it's not. So let them criticize your silence. Let them whisper, let them laugh, let them wonder, because one day, your results will walk into the room and every doubter will go silent. They'll criticize your silence, until your success becomes the loudest thing they've ever heard. Stay focused, stay silent, stay unstoppable. You don't need to tell the world your plans, you don't need to prove anything to anyone, because real power moves in silence. While they post for likes, while they talk about what they might do, you're building, you're grinding, creating something the world can't see yet. Your kingdom isn't made of words, it's made of habits, discipline, sacrifice. Every early morning, every late night, every no to distractions is a brick. A silent brick in the empire only you can see right now, and that's okay, because you don't need applause, you don't need recognition, you just need consistency. Let them sleep on you, let them doubt you, let them mock your silence, because the loudest ones usually have nothing to show. But you're different. You don't chase attention, you attract it with results, and one day, you'll walk out of the shadows, step by step, with a kingdom behind you, built quietly, patiently, brick by brick. And when they ask you, how did you do it? You'll smile, because the answer was always simple: in silence. On-screen text: build your own kingdom quietly, and let your success make the noise. The most dangerous moves are the ones you never saw coming. Not posted, not predicted, not publicized, because power moves don't need announcements, they don't scream for attention. They speak through results. While others talk, you work. While they show off, you shut up and build. You're not trying to impress anyone, you're trying to transform. You don't need to say a word, because real success has a voice of its own. They'll ask, "What happened to you? Where've you been?" And you'll smile. Because they weren't supposed to see the process, only the outcome. Power isn't loud, power is controlled, disciplined, strategic, silent. Think like a lion, calm, quiet, until it's time to strike, and when you do, the whole world notices, but by then, it's already too late to stop you. So stay low, stay focused, and let your next move be something they'll never forget. Power moves don't need announcements, they just need action. You scroll through your feed and all you see are smiles, wins, highlights, people showing off every single move, but the real ones? The real ones are silent. The real ones don't post their pain. They carry it quietly. Behind that calm face is a storm, behind that smile is a scar, behind that "I'm fine" is 1,000 silent battles. But they won't tell you, they won't ask for pity, they don't need applause, they just need the strength to keep going. Because they know, the world claps when you win, and disappears when you're broken. So the real ones? They heal in silence, they grind in silence, they cry in silence, they don't post breakdowns, they build back stronger. Alone they know that pain is not for performance, it's not for likes. It's not content, it's fuel, fuel to become unshakable, fuel to rise without noise, fuel to come back with something they'll never see coming. So if you're hurting and no one sees it, that's okay, they don't need to, because the real ones never post their pain. They turn it into power. They didn't see the late nights, they didn't hear the silence, they didn't feel the doubt, they only saw you disappear. While they laughed, you stayed focused. While they partied, you stayed in. While they talked, you stayed quiet. You were building brick by brick in silence, in pain and discipline. They didn't believe in you. Some even mocked you, others forgot you, but none of that mattered. Because you didn't show up to prove them wrong. You showed up to prove yourself right. You knew the grind, you trusted the process, you chose growth over attention. And now, they're watching. Point one day, they'll ask how you did it. They'll want the blueprint, the secrets, the steps, but they'll never understand that it wasn't luck, it wasn't timing, it wasn't magic, it was you, waking up when no one clapped, working when no one watched, believing when no one believed. It's how you did it, not with words but with action. And when they ask, smile, because the answer is already in front of them. You are the proof. One day they'll ask how you did it. You won't have to say a word, your life will be the answer. Most people want attention, they speak too soon, they show too much, they chase applause before they've earned results. But you're not most people, you're different. You move quietly, you work in silence, you let your actions speak, because you know the real ones don't announce moves, they make moves. You don't need validation, you don't need to be seen, you don't need the noise. What you need is discipline. What you need is focus. What you need is grit when no one's watching. So stay silent, don't talk about your plans, execute them, stay disciplined. The world breaks the weak, you stay unshaken. You train your mind like a weapon, sharp, still, unstoppable. Stay dangerous, not violent, valuable, not loud, lethal. In your calm when they least expect it. You rise when they doubt you. You deliver, so focus only on yourself. Block out the distractions, outgrow the noise, outwork the excuses, and then let the world watch. Watch as the silent one becomes the strongest one. Watch as the one they ignored becomes the one they admire. Watch as the one who stayed in the shadows becomes the one they can't stop talking about. Stay silent, stay disciplined, stay dangerous. Focus only on yourself, and watch the world take notice.